was created from just a couple of pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and then I folded them into quarters, and then I made pockets. So I can show you how to do that. I don't want this video to go too long. I can show you how to do this in a different video. But I just really wanted to talk in this video about how, even though it's Valentine's Day, and I should be thinking Valentine's Day, as if I, should be. But, I intended to make a scrapbooking page about Valentine's today, on Valentine's Day, but that's not what I woke up with. And so then I just go through like the 1980s, and I remember this particular guy from my high school used to imitate the church lady from Saturday Night Live, so I found a picture of him from our 10-year reunion, and I'm just going to pair that up. And so just go through, and then I did the late 80s and the 90s and the, just and different things from my life. And then I wrote some pages, so each decade basically. And then I wrote, most memorable moments from Saturday Night Live for me. Number 2 was that Chris Farley interview of Paul McCartney. Number 1 was Paul Simon when he sang The Boxer after 9/11. That was definitely my most powerful moment on Saturday Night, watching Saturday Night Live. And then my number 3 was the news segment in general, because that's been like such a constant, and I can remember like all the news segments from like the whole show. Did my top 10 favorites. I did a little journaling page about how Saturday Night Live and music triggers memories of my whole life. And so basically what I said here, I wrote down. And then, what else? Yeah, so I'll post these, and I'm going to probably make a little book like this with these. And I've just gathered up pictures. And so I've never been to Saturday Night Live. I don't know anybody on the show. And, I really have like no serious connection to that show, but it's been a part of my life. And I've watched it just about every Saturday Night Live, Saturday night, for as long as I can remember. So I just took photos of myself from different time periods of my life, and then I'm going to incorporate this into just a little mini book. Okay, we're at 10 minutes. But just one more minute, and I'll show you how to make the pocket thing like this. But I won't do the super decorating of it. Okay, so you take some paper, like 12 by 12 paper, and at this point, it's okay to not, it doesn't have to be totally relevant. So this is like XOXOXO paper, so it's sort of like Valentine's Day. What you want to do with it is choose which side you want to be out. And so I actually think I'm going to want that big bold pattern to be out. And you just fold it in half once, right? Just fold a piece of paper in half. And then you just fold it again. And then what you can do, so I have now this little, right? So I made one. And now, let me just find a couple more pieces of, you don't really need double-sided. I don't need double-sided at all. That was double-sided, but I don't really need it. Didn't need it to be. And I pulled the Valentine's Day paper, but I don't really need a Valentine's Day theme for this. But that's okay. I think I'm just going to go with it anyways. So this is a cardstock paper. This is a lighter weight paper, which isn't as awesome for the pockets, but I think I'm going to make this into the middle. So that this one with the big X's will be my cover, and then these will be my insides. And I think just 3 sheets will get me there, probably. Let me just see. that will probably work. Okay, so I'm just going to put these papers to the side. And then to make this, to make how this book goes together, and to make the pockets, and I'm just going to use, you could use adhesive, but I've been using the sewing machine like crazy lately, and I actually think for this kind of a project, if you have a sewing machine handy, it's almost like quicker and easier because you can just line up just make a stitch, and I actually think it'll be stronger than adhesive. See how that's like there, now that's a pocket that I can stick these into, or I can stick photographs into, or whatever you want to put in the mini book. Wow. It's a powerful little machine. I'm using like just a fold-away table. This is not where I normally craft. The other thing I've seen people do online is, you know, like turn down the little, like get kind of fancy with the openings of mini books. I'm not really sure that I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll just do it with, I'm just not. I can't, no, I'm not. I know there's like all sorts of cutesy little, like this. I think like this. This might be cute. Just go like, instead of folding it down, maybe just cut it, right? So people really know there's something in there. And to make that be even on both sides, I'll just like this. I'm not going to do it on all of the pages. I'll just do it on two of them. Not all the flaps. Just some of them. Okay. So then you've got like a more obvious place where the pocket's going to be. It's really bouncing. But this kind of shows you how you can make a mini book almost as easily as you could make a full page. Like a mini book doesn't have to take you forever. And sometimes when I'm making mini books, I have a hard time finishing sometimes because I think I can fit more in there than I actually can. And you might want to trim, if you do this, trim the middle pages a little bit. I'm not going to just because I'm doing this fast. But the middle pages, here, I'll just trim these middle pages. Might be good if they were just a little bit shorter than the other ones, or less wide. Hold on. And then the way that I adhere, or the way that I put this mini book together is I use my crocodile, which I do not have handy right now, but I just put in 2 holes and then I put ribbon. And that's how this one is attached. But I am going to actually sew the one that I'm making right now together. And I'll show you that. So this is kind of what I call improv scrapbooking, where you don't sit down with a plan, although you have maybe sort of a plan, but not a full plan. And you just go.